Straight ahead, Gary Stevens hits the turf instead of the winner's circle in the Arlington Million. There will be no $2 million triple Tiara bonus. Frankel rings up his 18th grade one of the year. And the Travers Stakes. Who's in, who's out, who cares? We do. The story's next on Long John Silver's Wire to Wire.
Long John Silver's Wire to Wire, presented by Citgo.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Metters. Welcome to Long John Silver's Wire to Wire. Will he or won't he? That is the question concerning Funnyside and the Travers. As we tape this show in midweek, he is not 100% out at the moment. Just to kind of reset the stage for you, his first start after the Belmont was the Haskell. He came back with a fever, finished a disappointing third, but he seems to be back on track. He worked a half in 47 and 4/5 this week, came back to the barn alert, and according to his trainer, Barkley Tagg, reasonably healthy. Funnyside will be entered in the Travers. Tagg is expected to put the decision off as long as possible. He has up until 45 minutes before post time to actually scratch it. Randy Moss is still in Del Mar trying to enjoy the fun, the sun, and the surf and take some time off, but we never let that happen for him. We've called him in and had him do a special report. Randy joins us now to preview the Travers.
Yeah, it's a tough break, Jeff. Me having to stay around here at Old Del Mar while you got to go back to the studio for Wire to Wire. But at least the race we're talking about now is a national race, a race of such national significance. It doesn't really matter where we're talking about it. The Travers Stakes, of course, I'm talking about coming up on Saturday. Empire Maker will be there and in good form. Of course, Empire Maker coming off that good second-place finish in the Jim Dandy behind Todd Fletcher's trained Strong Hope. They hit the wire right together with Strong Hope taking the photo. Both horses in the Travers with Empire Maker expected to be the favorite. Then there is Sky Mesa, who turned in such a strong effort, finishing second in the Haskell at Monmouth behind Peace Rule. Sky Mesa from the barn of trainer John Ward continues to improve in his comeback from injury that ended his 2-year-old season. And don't forget 10 Most Wanted, the horse that gave Empire Maker all he could handle in the Belmont Stakes, finishing second to Empire Maker on that day. 10 Most Wanted came back and didn't run that well in his next start at Hollywood Park, but he's been training exceptionally well for the Travers. And now all we need at Saratoga on Saturday is to take some of this Del Mar sunshine and take it back east in the middle of all that Saratoga rain and have a nice day in Saratoga Springs for a change. Jeff?
Well, I hope that happens for you, Randy. I just keep remembering last year when it was so cold in August, you could see your breath there, and, of course, the rain kept coming down. Probable field as it stands right now. Of course, the headliner there, Empire Maker, a rematch with Strong Hope. Looks to be a very, very good race, and we'll keep our fingers crossed as to whether or not Funnyside actually makes it into the race. How big is this weekend up there in Saratoga? Well, it's so big that Sports Center's coming on up. The Travers Stakes, part of a huge show. In there, the Boston Spa, the 4-Star Day, the King's Bishop. It's huge. Join us Saturday, 5 Eastern, as the Road to the World Thoroughbred Championships, powered by Dodge, continues. All right, still ahead on Wire to Wire. The $2 million bonus in the Triple Tiara was stopped by Island Fashion. The field is set for the All-American Futurity and Derby. Did A.B. What a Runner make it in there? And later, a wild finish in our Race of the Week.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's new buckets of crunchy shrimp. Citgo, we know you. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Citgo leaderboard, Bobby Frankel chasing history. That would be Wayne Lucas in 1987 when he set the curve that year. Frankel, 18 grade ones already in 2003. The record-setting year for Lucas in 87, 22 grade ones. So Bobby Frankel closing the gap. Well, back in June, Bobby Frankel ended Barkley Tagg and Funnyside's bid to win the Triple Crown and a $5 million bonus. Turnabout is fair play, as we learn in Final Furlongs. Frankel and company stood to win a $2 million bonus. If spoken for, could finish off the Triple Tiara with a win in the Alabama Stakes. Barkley Tagg sent out Island Fashion, and the colors did clash.
Spoken for drives through on the inside. Then Awesome Humor, Hillary Lee. Birdtown, not today. The day belongs to Island Fashion. Brilliantly ridden by Johnny Velasquez, winning by 6 lengths.
Broken Fur, who won the Mother Goose in the Coaching Club American Oaks, finishes third in her bid to win the Triple Tiara. On paper, her toughest competition looked to be Birdtown, but she finished next to last. Island Fashion was making her first start for trainer Barkley Tagg. She wins by 6, the speed index of 101. On to Arlington in the $700,000 Beverley D, part of the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf Division. Bobby Frankel scratched Tate's Creek, but all he needed was Heat Hayes.
Center of course, there's risk averse. Walter Goonigan looking to make a split. Dublino in between horses. And here's Heat Hayes from out of last, which he's coming with a surging run. Heat Hayes down the center of course as he strikes the front. Jose Valdivia Jr. and Heat Hayes going away.
Turns out he didn't need Tate's Creek. Heat Hayes was plenty. Sent off as the 8-5 favorite. Heat Hayes is a French import owned by Juddmonte Farm. She has won 4 of 5 in the U.S. This was Frankel's 18th Grade 1 win in 2003. Now to the matchmaker at Monmouth. This is also fillies and mares on the lawn. Watch the power move on the outside coming up by Volga, who storms home despite an 8-month layoff. She was 0 for 7 in the United States since coming over from France in 2001. Second matchmaker win for Joe Bravo. Moving north to Saratoga, Sunday's Lake Placid for 3-year-old fillies on the grass. After winning the Regret and finishing second in the American Oaks, Sand Springs gives a convincing performance here, winning by nearly a length. Sand Springs has won 4 of 5 this year, 2 for 2 on the Saratoga lawn. Her career earnings now just over $500,000. Saturday at Saratoga, the boys squaring off in the $300,000 Saratoga Breeders' Cup. Harlan's Holiday suffered an injury and finished last, while Pony hoping to break a bridesmaid streak that he has going in 2003. But despite the valiant effort, Puzzlement, saddled by the giant killer, Hall of Famer Alan Jerkins, pulls away to win by 3 1/4. Puzzlement rebounds after finishing 4th in the Whitney. Back to Arlington, 11 horses in the Grade 1 Secretariat Stakes. The favorite, Just Wonder, was not a factor. That was not the case for Kickin' Chris. Here's the call.
They're coming down to the wire. Javier Castellano and Kickin' Chris. Kickin' Chris, a 15-1 winner. It's Kickin' Chris's Secretariat.
Kickin' Chris, a 15-1 upset winner in the $400,000 Secretariat, trained by Michael Matz, who has ridden for the United States Equestrian Team in the Olympics. It was the first Grade 1 win for Matz in his 5-year training career. Now to the Saturday card at Del Mar. 3-year-olds on the grass. The $150,000 La Jolla. Bob Baffert's trained senior swinger was the favorite, but he could not overcome the early speed. Singletary wins it wire to wire. Julie Crone and Patrick Valenzuela are battling for the jockey title at Del Mar. The win kept P-Val right on her boot heels. Sticking with Del Mar on Sunday, the $150,000 Pat O'Brien, disturbing the peace, won this race last year to cap a 6-race winning streak. He was trying to defend this year and break a 6-race losing streak. 7 furlongs, disturbing the peace, took control with 3 furlongs left. He wins by 2. The favorite, Blues the Standard, faded to 7th. The Best Pal Stakes headlined out Road to the World Thoroughbred Championships, powered by Dodge. Coverage on Sunday. The 2-year-old's going 6.5 furlongs. Siphonizer, ridden by Julie Crone, was the favorite, but he could do no better than 5th. Perfect Moon, after winning the Hollywood Futurity on July 19th, cruises to victory in the Best Pal. A $4,700 yearling sales purchase. He's now won $183,000. Last but not least, the Saratoga Special Stakes, a Grade 2, also for 2-year-olds, going 6.5 furlongs. QV, ridden by Jerry Bailey, destroys the field, winning by 7.5. The off-track did not bother the Carson City Colt in the least, and that is Final Furlongs. Just a reminder, on ESPN.com, you can sign up now for the Pick 6 Challenge presented by Digiturf Virtual Racing. You don't want to miss that. You can win this weekend if you pick all 6 winners, $600. Grand prize at the end of the season, $2,500. Moving on now to speed. The field is set for the richest race in the American quarter horse industry, the All-American Futurity, which takes place on Labor Day. The instant headliner is always the fastest qualifier, 18 trials. This is trial number 8. Latest version was about to set the curve for this year's All-American Futurity.
Executive Menaces are right there. It's the latest version clear. Anacacho trying to move up in second. Latest version Anacacho and latest version and Saul Ramirez to score. Just ahead of Anacacho and Executive Menace.
Great day for California trainer Paul Jones. The reigning AQHA champion trainer has stepped up his efforts to win this race. Latest version is co-owned by Rio Dosa Downs owner R.D. Hubbard. He was bred by past AQHA president Jerry Wyndham. And we move on now in the trials. We bounce ahead to the 15th trial. And that's where we find Bye Bye JJ, who would set the mark, try to set his bid here, and he would make it look pretty easy. He would post the second fastest time of the day, earning a spot in that rich finale.
Here comes Treasured Miracle. And on the extreme outside, Bye Bye JJ now takes the lead and draws clear. First place hero putting in a late rally on the outside, along with Letter Zoom. But this one is over. Bye Bye JJ gets the win.
Bye Bye JJ is a gelding by JJ Shotglass. He was a finalist in the New Mexican and the Zia Futurities, but now he's at the big time for trainer Juan Gonzalez. Jockey JJ Gonzalez has a decision to make. He qualified 3 head for the finals for 3 different trainers. That's how it shapes up. Paul Jones qualifies 3. J.J. Gonzalez qualifies 3, the most for a jockey. John Bassett did not get in a qualifier. Jack Brooks has 1. The final is set on Labor Day. Winner gets $1 million. Now to the trials of the All-American Derby. 5 trials here. Maybe some more familiar names, including Meteoric, who made the All-American Futurity final just last year.
Meteoric on the extreme outside. Here comes, and the beat goes on, and the beat goes on with Meteoric, Southern Cartel in the middle, and the beat goes on. Meteoric, it comes down to these 2. Here's the Wire. Meteoric, I believe, by a nose.
Meteoric won the first trial and posted the fastest qualifying time, and the beat goes on also moves on with the second best time. In fact, 5, the top 5 here, all made the finals with some help from the wind. Meteoric has won 10 of 13 lifetime and nearly $500,000. In the third trial, Silvered Eyes, another All-American Futurity alum, was trying to get back to the Derby finals. He drew a tough assignment against Snow Big Deal. Here's what happened.
One Famous Lady is putting in a rally as well. One Famous Lady now up to take the lead. Snow Big Deal is right there. Silvered Eyes moves to the inside, but is well beaten today. It's One Famous Lady, Snow Big Deal come to the wire together. Here's the wire, going to be very close. A photo's going to have to separate them in this one.
Silvered Eyes' time of 21.530 would have been good enough to get him into the final, but he was DQ'd for lugging in. Snow Big Deal gets in with the 3rd best time. One Famous Lady also gets the call back. It was the first win in 3 tries for Snow Big Deal. One Famous Lady also made the finals of the Rainbow Derby. And I know you're wondering about last year's All-American Futurity winner and world record holder A.B. What a Runner. She was a victim of a typical Ruidoso trial day. The wind shifted. Instead of a tailwind, she got a headwind. Her time of 21.591 missed by 1/100th of a second. That's racing. Tough break for A.B. What a Runner. Sleepy Gilbert dominated the qualifying, landing 4 of the top 10. Jack Brooks and Paul Jones are represented. 4 fillies, 3 geldings, and 3 colts make up the finalists for the All-American Derby. Next on our to-do list, we'll preview the Pacific Classic with a field that should include the Frankel Train Medaglia de Oro. And coming up later on, an incredible weekend for a jockey and a trainer at Remington Park. We'll be right back. Time for news. Harlan's Holiday suffered a strained suspensory ligament in his right hind leg during Saturday's Saratoga Breeders' Cup. It has proven to be career-ending. Harlan's Holiday won 9 of 22 for $3.6 million for Jack Wolf's Starlight Stable. Santa Catarina, winner of the Hollywood Oaks, runner-up in the Kentucky Oaks, is on the sideline. She'll miss the Breeders' Cup distaff. Bob Baffert plans to freshen her up and give her a chance to grow up. She's owned by Robert and Beverley Lewis. Next start should be the La Brea Stakes in December. And Perfect Drift, who gave turf racing a try in the Arlington Million, is headed back to the dirt. He finished 8th on Saturday. He actually started the year on the grass with 2 starts. He's going back to the dirt where he's won 2 in a row, including an upset win over Mineshaft in the Stephen Foster. And that's 1 minute to post. At the top of the show, Randy Moss previewed the Travers. Now, that's on Saturday. We have another show on Friday. That would be the Personal Ensign, and that leads our NTRA Great Stakes segment, as we have some fillies to watch for in here, including Summer Colony, who beat a field of 4 in the Molly Pitcher on June 28th, but she never really fired in the Delaware Handicap. She's just trying to regain her form of last summer, which was awfully good. Bobby Frankel should start Wild Spirit, but if he doesn't like the weights, he may make a quick change here and throw in Sightseek, the Juddmonte filly. Boy, is she good. She turned the Gopher Want into a laugher, winning by 11.5. Out west, Pacific Classic Medaglia de Oro has made some history at Saratoga. He won the Jim Dandy, the Travers, and the Whitney. First horse ever to accomplish that trifecta. He takes his show on the road in the Pacific Classic. They'll also face another horse from the Bobby Frankel barn, Milwaukee Brew, who tuned up in an allowance race at Monmouth on Haskell Day. Won it easily, kind of a confidence builder for him. He was third in that race a year ago. All right, the Grade 1 Ballerina, Shine Again, the defending champion, back to defend her title. She was beaten by Willa on the Move in the Honorable Miss at Saratoga on August 1st, and she's going to get a rematch. In 2 starts this year, Willa on the Move has 2 wins. She won by DQ in the Extra Heat Stakes at Belmont, then claimed the Honorable Miss, as I mentioned, at Saratoga. Huge racing weekend on the road to the World Thoroughbred Championships powered by Dodge. It starts on Friday with the Personal Ensign. You can see that show at 5 Eastern Time. That will be Kenny Mayne and Randy Moss. Then on Saturday, as I mentioned, Sports Center is coming to Saratoga. It's going to be a huge weekend, a huge day there. And then Sunday, the Pacific Classic, 5 Eastern Time. That's where I'm headed. Should be a great race featuring the older horses. That showtime is set for 5 Eastern. For more on all this, you can go to ESPN.com. One more race to preview, the Longacre Mile at Emerald Downs, just outside of Seattle, is also this weekend. Skyjack, who won the Mervyn Leroy Handicap in the Hollywood Gold Cup last summer before cooling off, looks to add this race to his resume. He's coming off an allowance win at Hollywood Park. The race will be on Sunday. It's a Grade 3, $250,000. Chris Lincoln will be at the track, and he will have the complete story next week on Long John Silver's Wire to Wire. Back to Speed Part 2. We have 3 Grade 1s from Remington Park. We'll also throw in one from Los Al as a bonus. We start in Oklahoma at Remington Park. It's the Remington Park Futurity Final, $178,000, 350 yards. The favorite was Blazin' Maddie. All she needed to do was hold off Red Man Running.
Late now is counting on colors and splitting horses is above and beyond me. Here comes the finish. Frida Maxine up to do battle with Red Man Running and Blazin' Maddie. Here's the finish.
Red Man Running is an Oklahoma bred owned by Judy Ritz of Yukon, Oklahoma, which also happens to be Garth Brooks' hometown. The geldings by Okie Dokie Dale. His career earnings went from $8,000 to $88,000. Moving up a grade, it's the Remington Park Derby. Frosty's Money Man was the favorite, but he'd have to hold off the Willis Payne combination of Oak Tree Special.
Your Cash Treat on the outside has her nose in front. On the inside, that's Oak Tree Special. From between, that is Frosty's Money Man, but Oak Tree Special wins the Remington Park Derby.
Oak Tree Special and Frosty's Money Man hook up for quite a battle, but in the end, Oak Tree Special managed to win by a half length. The colt by Special Task has now won 11 of 17 lifetime and earned $317,000. Here we come again. It's the Sooner State Stakes. This time it's the favorite, A Real Man, who's trained by Eddie Willis and ridden by Larry Payne, who has won all of these races we've seen so far.
The outside, that's LD Foxy Lady, and coming on late is the Cheetah. She's got some ground to make up. It's A Real Man, and Belisa going right at it. Here comes the finish line. A Real Man gives another one to Payne and Willis.
What a day for trainer Eddie Willis and rider Larry Payne. They dominated Remington Park's richest day of racing in the 2003 season, winning all 6 stakes on the card. A Real Man was the horse of the meeting last year, but that was his first win of this year. Finally, a Grade 1 from Los Al, the Golden State Derby. The highly decorated Morning Snow was the favorite, but the winner came from the Lone Star State.
Special Queen on the outside. Morning Snow is going to have to rally, trying to come on in between horses. A Special Snowflow on the far outside. Comes Special Queen, but it's going to be Mr. Pychik, and Mr. Pychik coming home easily.
Mr. Pychik shipped in from Texas, took care of the California competition. Donna MacArthur engineered the win. It was the first Grade 1 win for owners Mona Smith and Oscar Ronan. For information on how you can become a Racing American quarter horse owner, just call 1-800-414-RIDE. Still to come, our race of the week, or should we call it our finish of the week, a Godolphin battle ensues in the Arlington Million.
ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's new buckets of crunchy shrimp. Citgo, we know you. NTRA.com. For official Seabiscuit merchandise, log on to NTRA.com. Equibase.com, your official online source for racing information, from entries to results and everything in between. Equibase.com is a service of Equibase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database.
Next week's Long John Silver's Wire to Wire, packed to the gills, the Travers Stakes, Pacific Classic, what happened there, plus a lot more. First chance to catch us Wednesday, 2 Eastern Time. For more on the schedule, go to ESPN.com. Time now for our race of the week, Saturday's Arlington Million from Arlington Park. 21st running, 13 horses from around the world giving a go in this 1.25 mile race. Get ready for a very wild finish.
away and running in the 21st Million. Between horses, Perfect Trip strides away well in company with Beecham Pilot. The Tin Man has come out third, and on the outside is Olden Times as they come in front of the stands for the first time. And Eddie Ahern has Beecham Pilot running out in front. Beecham Pilot in front of Perfect Trip by 2.5 lengths. The Tin Man right alongside in third with 1 mile to run. Then Touch of Land in back of these running in fourth. Evangelista in the pink cap at the fence running in fifth. Then on the outside is Olden Times, only 4 from leader Beecham Pilot as they make their way into the first turn. Followed there by a Kaya Tour settled in the black cap. Suleimani magnetized toward this rail in the Godolphin blue. Suleimani follows Evangelista's inside bid. 7 from leader Beecham Pilot, who's unopposed. Outside of Suleimani comes Perfect Soul. Then Honor and War, black red sleeves. Paolini toward the back of the field in this Million. Paolini running toward the tail of the field. Storming Home is running in 12th. And Trepat is last of 13. The half went in 49 seconds flat. Still well over 4 furlongs to run in this 21st Million. And it is Beecham Pilot looking to stay out the distance. The Tin Man, his nearest pursuer, as they head toward the far turn. Perfect Drift at the rail saving ground. Then Touch of Land as they go toward the far turn. Olden Times 5th. Now Perfect Soul in the yellow cap, coming with his claim for fame. And following this out wide is Storming Home. Around the far turn, the Tin Man strikes the front from Beecham Pilot. Perfect Soul points to go. Storming Home right there running fourth and well within touch of these leaders. Honor and War, black red sleeves coming on the far outside. And Suleimani has been angled 7 wide on the course. Suleimani coming down the center of the course now. Final furlong. The Tin Man headed by Perfect Soul. Here's Storming Home, then Honor and War. Paolini now threading through. Suleimani on the far outside. Storming Home with first run inside the final 16th. Paolini quickening on late. Suleimani on the outside. It is Storming Home. Gary Stevens and Storming Home only took a bad step there.
Storming Home has a reputation of being somewhat quirky, just strides from the finish line. Despite the blinkers, he spooks, swerves out in front of the pack, and he will unseat Gary Stevens. Trainer Neil Drysdale thinks Storming Home might have shied away from the reflection mirror that's a part of the photo finish system. Lots of varying reports about the condition of Gary Stevens since the spill. Several sources now saying that he suffered a collapsed lung and a bruised shoulder. It looked a lot worse than it actually turns out to be. He was actually released from the hospital now on Tuesday morning. His theatrical agent issued a statement stating that Stevens will be sidelined for at least a month. Of course, Stevens plays George Wolfe in the box office hit Seabiscuit, so this story really going beyond the thoroughbred industry and becoming a national story. He was helped by stretcher from the course, sidelined a month, collapsed lung, and a bruised shoulder. Gary Stevens awfully lucky. Now, the stewards were called in to sort out this mess. There was a dead heat finishers for third, and they actually lodged the objection. And so a chorus of boos, 28,614 in attendance, watched as Storming Home was taken down and placed fourth, giving Suleimani the victory. Godolphin is now 100 grade or Group 1 wins worldwide. The dead heat for third becomes a dead heat for second. Final time on a good course, 2:02.29. Storming Home now back home in Del Mar at the Neil Drysdale barn. All right, World Thoroughbred rankings in the John Deere Turf Division. Irish Derby winner Alam Shar still number 1. Suleimani right there, number 2. Storming Home at the moment, tied for 5th. All right, just a reminder, the Personal Ensign on Friday, the Travers on Saturday, and the Pacific Classic on Sunday. A huge weekend as we continue to race toward the World Thoroughbred Championships powered by Dodge. We'll see you next week.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Following is a presentation of the National Thoroughbred Racing Association and ESPN.
In tomorrow's Travers Stakes, it'll be Haskell Invitational winner Peace Rules going instead of Belmont champ Empire Maker in the $1 million race. Peace Rules is but one of the bullets that trainer Bobby Frankel has ready to fire in what could be a record-breaking weekend for the Hall of Fame conditioner. Today, Frankel tries for his 19th Grade 1 Stakes win of the year with the heavy favorite Wild Spirit in the $400,000 Personal Ensign handicap. It's next